I would just say that his leadership in California is good reason to brush him off for the loser that he really is, okay? You're over there in China talking about fentanyl, right? How about you clean up your own house? How about you take a look at what's happening with the prosecutions or lack of prosecutions of the drug traffickers in your state?
Anna Kasparian absolutely torches California on the PBD podcast. Anna Kasparian is a native of California, and she is absolutely sick and tired of what the Democrats have done to ruin the once beautiful states. Let's see exactly what Kasparian has to say, shall we?
You're trying to get me in trouble. You're trying to get me in trouble,
California is a shit show under Newsom.
Yes.
Leftist commentator Anna Kasparian, the Young Turks, describes California as a shit show. The leadership of Golden State Governor Newsom, a Democrat, California is without a question a shit show under Newsom. But I guess propping up proven failures is what the Democratic Party excels.
True.
At these days, Kasparian opined in a post on X, failure is what Democratic Party excels at. Newsom, who served as governor since 2019, won re-election last year after surviving a governor. Okay, so California, you're still living in California, right? I lived there for 24 years minus 3 years in the Army. You lived in California. You lived in California.
I was born there.
And he's dated a lot of Californians, but he's never lived in California.
Yeah.
So how is California like today? How is your governor doing today? And why are you still in California?
I'm still in California. I was born and raised in Los Angeles. I'm not going to leave and just allow the most extreme elements of the left destroy the state, okay? So I'm going to stay and I'm going to fight and I'm going to make it better. I think LA and California in general still has a lot of potential, but there have been some policies implemented that have been disastrous. So Gavin Newsom and the current Democratic legislature in the state of California have engaged in this trend of decriminalizing everything and refusing to regulate things. So I'll give you some examples. One of the things that they decriminalize but refuse to regulate is prostitution, okay? I think that sex work should be legalized and regulated, okay? What I mean by that is I don't want to see prostitutes walking around in thongs on the streets as kids are walking to school. But what the Democrats in California have done is we don't have the balls to actually legalize and regulate it, and we're lazy as hell. So we're just going to do the super lazy thing of decriminalizing, which means we're going to disempower our legal system, disempower law enforcement, and just allow sex workers to do what they're currently doing right now, which is they have no protection, they're not paying taxes, they're being controlled and sex trafficked by Johns. Okay, it is the worst possible solution to the issue, okay?
I completely agree with her on California just decriminalizing everything. It's as if California has gone to a bizarro world where bad has become good and good has become bad, where you're more likely to get punished for using a firearm to protect your store than you are from like mass looting a store. Like, the owner of the store is more likely to be punished than the robber of the store. That's how backwards California has become.
No one is safe. Everyone's angry. And you see all sorts of terrible stuff happening right there in broad daylight in the middle of the street. Okay, they did the same thing with drugs. Okay, we're going to decriminalize. So what do you see in California? Bunch of people shooting up, okay, and smoking crack all over the place. I'm sorry, I'm not interested in seeing that. I don't think that we should be, dealing with that on the metro system. Why do taxpayers have to deal with that? So they don't want to do anything to regulate. Again, I am fine with legalizing these things as long as we regulate it. As long as we find the right balance to keep everyone safe, keep everyone as happy as they can be, so we can see these cities thrive. But these cities are not thriving, okay? San Francisco is terrifying. And it's hilarious to me because the business community there wants to put lipstick on a pig. They want to put out this $4 million ad campaign pretending as though everything in San Francisco is all hunky-dory. It's not hunky-dory. San Francisco is a nightmare. Yes, violent crime went down a little bit, but your car's going to get broken into. Okay, you're going to get robbed.
Those are up, by the way. Both
Yeah,
of those
those
two
are up.
categories are
And
up.
Correct.
the smash and grabs, and you left
keep
the
going.
smash and grabs in LA because they decriminalized under $1,000.
Keep going.
I mean, it's not right. There are certain issues that we've had for a long time. The drug war was a failure. And so going back to the drug war, I don't think is going to be effective. But you know what else isn't effective? Using taxpayer money, funneling it to nonprofits so they can literally buy crack pipes and hand them out at Skid Row.
And bleach
There is
pits.
video evidence of that.
How does that make
So
any sense?
anyone on the left
Yeah.
who wants to come at me and pretend like this is just a right-wing scaremongering talking point, you're full of crap, and you should go online and you should watch the videos of literal. We spent $13 billion in Los Angeles alone last year to combat homelessness. You want to know where that money went? That money went to these trash nonprofits who have a bunch of executives making $500,000 a year. You're working for a nonprofit dealing with homelessness. That's my money. That's my parents' money. Okay? That is the hardworking people of California paying incredibly high taxes that go to what? So yeah, I'm sick of it. I'm sick of it.
Yeah, and they tax us up the ass too. They want to tax us for everything. Right now they're doing this thing where because they're not making enough on their gasoline taxes, because they encouraged everyone to get electric cars, well, now they want to like charge us. They're like trying to implement this program where they want to charge us by the mile. They want to tax us by the mile. They are insane. And yeah, this state has gone to crap under Democratic leadership. And so far, Anna Kasparian is correct. Do you guys agree?
And honestly, just experiencing what I've seen on the ground in California has made me question a lot about left-wing ideology.
Now, what do you think about your governor going and spending time with Xi this last week? I'll read the story to you. I think even just happened maybe yesterday.
Yesterday. He was there
whatever
yesterday.
it was. Yeah,
Kissing
so
his
here you
ass.
go. California Governor Newsom has surprising meeting with China's leader Xi amid warm welcome in Beijing. California Governor Newsom meets Xi during his visit to Beijing underscores a shift in U.S.-China relations. Newsom's focus on climate cooperation comes in heightened tensions between the two nations, with Xi expressing hope that the visit would enhance cooperation between China and California. Xi stated, "I hope your visit will enhance mutual understanding between the two sides and play a positive role in expanding cooperation between China and California and promoting the healthy and stable development of Sino-U.S. relations." During these discussions, Newsom and Xi addressed the acceleration of climate progress and combating the transnational shipping of precursor chemicals for synthetic drugs such as fentanyl. Xi hinted at the possibility of attending the Asia-Pacific Economic Cooperation Summit in San Francisco and meeting with U.S. President Joe Biden. Why do you think he's in China?
He's in China because he already thinks of himself as the president, okay? I have no doubt that eventually it'll come to a point where the Democratic Party has decided, no, this is the person you need to vote for. Anyone who speaks out against him is the enemy. I would just say that his leadership in California is good reason to brush him off for the loser that he really is, okay? You're over there in China talking about fentanyl, right? How about you clean up your own house? How about you take a look at what's happening with the prosecutions or lack of prosecutions of the drug traffickers in your state?
If you enjoy content like this, subscribe to my channel. Let's get back to it.
He can't be bothered to deal with that, right? He can't be bothered to deal with the absolute degenerate garbage that comes out of his administration. Instead, he's going to China pretending as if everything he's been doing in California is great, and he's a great leader who, has that road paved for him to be president. I can't stand Newsom, okay? We're talking about a guy who has implemented policies that has increased crime in his state, and then he turns around and says, no, I'm going to sign off on this legislation that bans bulletproof vests in California. What? You're going to ban bulletproof vests without addressing the obvious violent crime that's happening in your state, that's on tape, that's all over the media. He just wants to pretend like what he has done to the state hasn't actually happened, but it's happened, and people are angry. They're furious about it. The thing that frustrates me is that a lot of people vote based on vibes, right? So they look at him and they see a relatively young guy with good hair and he carries himself well, and they think that that's a leader. but look at his leadership in the state, and then please come talk to me about how successful he's been.
100% correct. As a Californian, yeah, Newsom sucks, and he is horrible. I definitely think the guy is planning on running for president. And yes, under Newsom's leadership, yes, this state has gone to crap. And Anna Kasparian is correct. Even people on the left that I know, and I know a lot of people on the left being here in California, don't like Newsom. I don't know how this dude didn't get recalled when we did the recall. I don't know how that was possible, but I don't know anyone that likes this guy.
And he's trying to put the fake on that right now. He's trying to put the head fake. He vetoed the bill about parents and trans. You saw that?
I
4
did
weeks
see
ago?
that, yeah.
Then he vetoed a bill that was being pushed by the unions to enforce fully automated trucks that would go up and down I-5, that if they were a fully autonomous truck, they still had to have a human sort of driving the truck.
Insane.
And it
Insane.
was a jobs bill, basically, and he went against that.
He vetoed,
So
yep.
he picked a few things out to really kind of get this vibe moving toward the middle, and they chose to promote those things. I think the whole thing is a stage show, and I think the fix is in.
And
I agree
I
with
was just
you.
gonna say this. I agree with you 100%. He's one of the reasons that we left. I know he had trying to get a recall with Larry Elder, didn't work out. But what I can't wrap my head around why people keep voting for. It's not like it's just him. It's not changing. And you said you're not leaving because you want to make a change. What the hell can the people that are there do if they keep voting for the same exact people? Same as Chicago, same as Baltimore, same as all those horribly ran states. Why do they keep voting for these people? I don't get it.
Look, I can't speak for other parts of the country, but I think California is notorious for voters who aren't really politically active, politically aware, and that has created a vacuum.
Or
for,
informed.
Yeah.
Well, when it comes to politics, I would say, right? And so that's created an opportunity for some of the more far left activist fringe of the party to basically take control of things. And I'm talking about like the individuals who think that it makes sense to literally abolish prisons and police, which
Unbelievable.
and then they turn around, by the way, when I critique it or criticize it, it's like, no, but we don't actually mean abolish. No, you mean abolish. Newsom has closed 2 state prisons. During COVID, he released
Everybody.
tens of thousands of people from these prisons, okay? Now, he lied and told everyone that the people he released were all nonviolent offenders, all nonviolent offenders. They're not all nonviolent offenders.
Some are
They're-
rapists.
I'll give you an example. I did deep research into this. Remember reading the story of one of the people.
You to get COVID in jail. Are you?
What are you going to do?
Recent graduate of Crime College.
Yeah. And you nailed it. And
Then where'd they go? Where did they go? So you released tens of thousands of people in one of the most expensive states in the country during the coronavirus pandemic, where where every business is shut down. There's no work.
Yeah.
What happened to them? Where'd they go? Where did they go? They ended up on the streets, probably super desperate. You're on the streets. You're super desperate. What are you going to do?
Recent graduate of Crime College.
yeah, and you nailed it. And there
Which
was
is
one
the prison.
There was one guy that got arrested. He was in jail for attempted murder. They released him. It was a story in Cali before I moved here, and he committed murder. And he killed somebody once they released him because they were like, "We don't want you to get COVID in jail." Are you kidding me? To hell with them. They sealed their fate. And just really fast before you ask, and so if
We
you had
need
to
to-
get,
oh,
if you had to
sorry.
get, no, it's all good. If you had to guess right now, who's going to run? Let's say Biden's not. It doesn't look like there's no way this guy's going to run. If you had to pick 2 from the Democratic Party, I'm assuming Newsom, who would be number 2? If you had to guess, and we had to bet money, who would you bet?
Who would run?
Who would go? Who would be the Democrats' number 1? You'd say Gavin Newsom.
It's going to be Newsom.
100%.
I think Newsom is first in line.
Yeah.
I think they're also considering people like Gretchen Whitmer, the governor of Michigan.
Oh, God help us.
Look, I would take.
Her over it.
I
That's
just-
horrible that we have to do that.
I can't.
Kamala?
I could never vote for Newsom.
I was also born and raised here in California. I love this state. It's a beautiful state. And honestly, like, I would never want to move away from here no matter how badly things get. It's like the line from the movie Office Space when the character Michael Bolton gets annoyed because everyone asks him, "Oh, are you related to the singer?" And then he gets annoyed, so they say, well, if it annoys you so much, why don't you change your name? And he says, well, why should I change my name? He's the one who sucks. And that's pretty much my views when it comes to Gavin Newsom and the Democrats that are in power here in California. When they ask me, well, why don't you move? And it's like, well, why should I move? He's the one who sucks. Like, let's get him out of here. The guy is obviously prepping for a presidential run, and I'm honestly scared if he does run, because people who do not live here do not see the damage that he has done to this state. He has driven a lot of people away from California, not even just the citizens, but the businesses as well. He is not good to run. He is not fit to run any country, let alone a state. And quite frankly, he's an embarrassment to this state and this country. But what do you guys think? Do you guys agree with Anna Kasparian, or do you think California is fantastic and Gavin Newsom's been a great leader? Leave a comment down below, give this video a like, subscribe to my channel, you'll be helping me out a lot, and I'll see you guys later.